beautiful people out there. This is Dr. Vineeta once again in order to give you an amazing training, especially today in regards to, do you have the legal documents to start a staffing agency? Do you have the passion to begin, tap into entrepreneurship, but you basically feel stuck that, what exactly the documents are required, how do I begin, what needs to be established, etc. To be honest with you, 99% of the times when I get on a call with my clients, they feel that having a policy procedure is the only vital document that you require in order to get started with the staffing agency. And honestly, that's just, one document which you require. Today, I have literally drafted in a list of documents because I keep on getting a lot of query in regards to what documents am I supposed to, require, especially when I'm getting started out. Is it the policies and procedures? I'm established in one state. Does the legal documents comply exactly the same to other states as well? And today, that is the only reason I thought of, just joining in live in order to tap into explanation and giving you the details of the important documents that you're supposed to receive, especially while you're getting started. So for those who do not know me, my name is Dr. Vineeta. I am a proud owner of this group. I'm a doctor by profession and a certified psychologist as well. I welcome each and everyone in this community, and the only intention of having this community built up was to answer all your questions, to answer all your queries, to give you that guidance which you actually require, especially when you're just getting established, when you're completely new in the market, when you've tapped in new as well, right? So what I've done for you is, I basically have listed in all the details of the documents that you require in order to get started with a healthcare staffing agency. And if you have any questions in regards to anything, like do I need this document, from which state I am, etc., feel free to slide into my DMs, and that's exactly why this entire community is basically built out with. So to begin with, every one of us, we basically do have a dream of starting a staffing agency, tapping into entrepreneurship, because 99% of times my current clients are currently employed. They're working for somebody else. And yes, in order to get started, there are certain legal steps which are required, what needs to be done, etc. Today, I'm going to walk you through the exact paperwork, because I see a lot of confusion in the online space in regards to which exact paperwork does my state require. No matter which state you are from, just understand one thing: every state has its different requirements. Like for an instance, if you are getting started in Texas, Texas has a different requirement altogether. If you're starting in Pennsylvania, if you're starting in Florida, the state does not matter. All that matters is you being the CEO of your staffing agency. Are you well versed with your state compliance and state guidelines? Are you well versed with what documents is your staffing agency actually requiring in order to get started? That's the key about it. So I would highly recommend you, before applying for any license, once when you have your EIN and LLC registered, your next important parameter has to be getting all your documents crafted for your staffing agency. The most important crucial document over here is the policies and procedure, which absolutely is a mandatory requirement. But to be honest, having a staffing agency, or for that matter having a business, your business has to be documented. You cannot be having any communication, any verbal communication with your candidates, with your clients, with your decision makers, etc. So the most important part over here is, how can I keep my business documented? And in order to keep your business documented, you have to have a nursing pool checklist in place. Now, what do I mean by nursing pool checklist? A nursing pool checklist is a list of 40 documents, 40 documents, which basically is required in order to get started. Why is it so essential? Because no matter what communication you have with your candidate, staffing is a business which basically communicates with the candidate as well, and also with the decision makers as well. Having a verbal communication in any business is definitely not what I would recommend, to be honest, because if you are rolling out any offer for your candidate, what is the current contract rate? How much are you ready to pay the candidate? What are her shift timings? How she basically is supposed to be, licensed with your agency? What are her job roles and responsibilities? Everything has to be documented, And to be honest with you, why this is so essential is after servicing 790 plus clients nationwide, we have come across in the past with a lot of candidates who basically were, coming up back to the client stating that we never agreed to this billing. The candidates were like, no, you never agreed to this kind of, contract, etc. In order to have that miscommunication, in place, it's always essential to get your business documented right from day one. Right from the time the candidate taps in and schedules herself for an interview, there has to be communication which has to be documented, because to be honest, whenever anyone comes back, for that matter, whether it's a candidate or whether it's a decision maker, you have to have something substantial on records to show. Let it be even the contracts, let it be the facilities, whether the facilities have actually agreed to your rates. What are your contract type? Whether it's a registered nurse contract, whether it's a per diem contract, whether it's a direct hire contract, no matter what contract it is, but is your contract well documented? So today what I'm going to do is I've come up with all the list of documents which are required, which are absolutely essential, and I'm going to read that out to you one by one. If you have any questions on documents, as I already mentioned, you absolutely can feel free to DM me directly on Facebook, because that's exactly the intention of getting this created, right? So let's begin. A nursing pool checklist is a mandatory set of documents which are required by a staffing agency. That's number one. How many documents come under the nursing pool checklist is total 40 documents. That's 40 documents in together is required in order to get started. Now you may come up with, why do I require 40 documents? 40 seems to be a huge number, but honestly speaking, 40 documents are bifurcated, okay? One, it is bifurcated under the candidate-oriented documentation, and the second, it is bifurcated under the facility-oriented documentation. Keep this really clear in your mind, no matter what state you are coming from. Candidate documentation is all the documents that you basically have to hand over to your candidates, requires, basic documentations, and under the facility-oriented documents are all the documents which basically you need to hand over to the facilities, right? So let's understand one thing. Now, when I basically have a business which caters to both, which caters to candidates, which also caters to staffing agencies or facilities, what kind of documents which are required? Number one crucial document which is absolutely mandatory is the policies and procedures. What is a policy and procedure? A policy and procedure is a 360-degree overview. It's a booklet of your staffing agency, details in place. What do I mean by that? 360-degree overview of where your staffing agency is being established, who's the owner, what kind of services you offer, what are your contact details, what is your agency mission, vision, etc. It's absolutely not required that your booklet has to be 100 plus pages. That's basically a complete myth, wherein I have clients scheduling appointments with me, asking me questions, wherein does the policy and procedure have to be 100 pages and above? No. The intent of having a policy and procedure in place is basically, before you apply for your staffing agency license, it has to have a document which includes everything in there. Like where your agency is established, what kind of services you offer, what are your rates, what is your agency mission, vision, etc. That is a mandatory document which cannot be negotiated. That's the policy and procedure. Apart from the policy and procedure, there are 39 absolutely mandatory documents required as well, and that is the only reason I thought of directly going in live in the community and answering the questions, clearing doubts of everyone who basically have these questions coming in, because we have a lot of I literally have 50-60 people DMing me every single day, and when my training and development team has just checked in what exactly are the most frequently asked questions, and it is about the paperwork. To be honest with you, there's a lot of confusion in the online space, right? So what I've done for you is I've basically crafted a list of documents wherein I can read those documents one by one in order to, so that you get the complete thorough understanding of, okay, do I have this document, do I have that document, and if you do not have any document, I'm going to tell you what you need to do as well. So be rest assured for it. So let's begin with, give me a moment, I've literally drafted them because they are literally 40, and yeah. The most important document is, do you have an onboarding and employment you have an employment independent contractor document? Do you have the entire acknowledgement of the job roles and responsibilities? For an instance, if you basically have a conversation with the candidate and you get a contract with it, are you documenting the every detail of the contract? Are you getting a non-disclosure agreement signed? What if she just, leaves your agency and directly approaches the facility, so that you get skipped? Have you thought about it? How important this thing is? So number one, you basically have to have an offer letter in place, which is also known as an engagement letter. Your offer letter has to have a complete candidate details, the name, the contact information, the email address, and what your staffing agency is offering the candidate. It seems to be a little, a little casual document, but to be honest with you, it's going to save you a lot of tons of energy, money, in case if the candidate comes back to you, you have everything written. Do you have a background check authorization form? Being a staffing agency owner, I'm sure you all are aware of, you have to have a clear background done for your candidates already, right? So do you have that in place? How are you getting your candidate's background done? Are you taking proper authorization from the candidate before starting the credentialing? Really crucial. I believe last year there was a candidate who actually sued one of the staffing agency because the staffing agency did not seek permission in getting her background check created. So now, very important is you have to have a background check authorization form in place. The next is a drug test consent form. For an instance, whenever you get a contract with any facility, every facility has its different requirements. Maybe one facility will require a TB clearance checklist, the other will be requiring a COVID vaccination mandate list, etc. These all fall under the drugs screening list. So do you have a drug test consent? Do you take consent from your candidate that, I'm getting these things completely credentialed for you, I would want your permission, I seek permission from you. There has to be proper signature from the candidate along with you being a staffing agency owner before you take that move about your candidate. Next is TB test and physical examination report. That's also known as, TB clearance or Montauk test. Whenever you get a Montauk test done for your candidate, are you taking approvals? Are you taking her authorization? Did she even approve you that please get my TB clearance done? That's really, really important. Next is basically a state nursing license or a certification copy. Are you asking her to send in her license and get that, literally attested from her end as well, so that you can show that, this copy has been given to me by the candidate and I have not got that downloaded from any public resource or repository as well. The next document is having a BLS and ACLS certification copy. Really crucial. You also have to have a proper resume in place so that you need to tell her that your resume is currently updated as of records, and today you actually give me 100% agreement that whatever is being documented on the resume, you have the fulfillment and you are currently aligned to the information on the resume as well. Because honestly, having an alignment with the contract of the facility, you need to submit your candidatures, no matter whether it's a private pay contract, no matter whether the contract is on a vendor management system. Is your candidate aligned? We don't want to send a candidate which is undercertified, right, which doesn't have experience, and then the facility coming back to us that, your candidate is absolutely not experienced, etc. In order to avoid those hassles, in order to avoid those roadblocks, you have to have a proper resume in place with her signature as well. Just give me a moment. Yeah. Next is the professional reference check forms. Professional reference check form is what was her experience, with how many facilities was she working. Have you already taken that complete authorization from her previous experience, whether she's not had any criminal past, whether she's done her duty properly, whether she's actually legitimate, whether whatever it is. Have you had that? Do you have that form, which basically all you need to do is just ask her to, sign this form there, and I'm going to start with your thorough professional background check as well. So you need to have this in place. You also have to have the vaccination records in place too. Coming back to the next set of documents, there are HIPAA confidential agreement documents which is required. You have to have a non-compete and non-solicitation agreement in place. You also have to have incident report procedure forms, etc. Coming to the facility-oriented forms, these were basically just the candidate-oriented. I'm not going to read all the 40 documents. If you require the list of 40 documents, feel free to DM me documents and I'll get that sent out to you, because I basically crafted all the 40 documents so that you can go one by one and check which documents you have in place, which you do not have in place, and which documents you require assistance with. I do have my in-house licensing team who can get those documents completely crafted for you, right? Now coming back to the candidate documents, which we have already seen, just to keep in mind, whatever documents you hand over to your candidate are known as candidate-oriented documents. Now let's see what documents do I actually require. Coming to the second point of view, which is facility-oriented documents, these are the documents which you need to submit whenever you sign in a contract with a hospital, with a nursing home, and with a clinic as well. A very important document is basically having a master staffing agreement in place. Now, what do I mean by that? Master staffing agreement is a document which has to be on your letterhead. You being the business owner, you have to send that out to the facility as per the agreement of your contract. Very crucial is what type of contract is it, what is the payment terms, whether you're going to be paid weekly, whether you're going to be paid bi-weekly, monthly, when are you going to be paid, what kind of, which business bank account I'm going to be paid, etc. Because once when you have that in place, the facility, no matter tomorrow, even if the facility doesn't pay you, you basically can just get them completely, take them to legal court, so get things into place, you can take action against them. But at the end of the day, you need to be very, very crucial about getting all these things done for you. That is having a master service agreement in place. Moving to the next is, do you have a facility intake form? These are all the details of the facility, the specialities, the volumes, because if you are sending in your candidate, if your candidate is basically, gone for maybe, just handling an emergency department or maybe a gynecology department, no matter what department, it has to be documented. You don't want your nurse to be rushed in the last hours that please can you handle this department, that department, etc. Because these have been witnessed by my clients in the past as well. And when I asked them that where is the staffing agreement, where is the master staffing agreement, unfortunately nothing was there in place. In order to avoid these mistakes, you actually have to have these certifications and the documents in place as well. Moving to the next is, you also require basically workers' compensation policy document too. No matter what insurance you have, whether do you have a 1099 or whether you have a workers' comp, you have to have that in place too. You have to have a rate sheet and a pricing sheet as well. What are your prices? Whether it's a registered nurse, what are your per hour prices for a registered nurse? What is the price for the CNA? What is the price for an LPN, etc. You need to have all this in place as well. And there has to be a proper signature taken from the facility decision makers that they are agreeing to our prices, and the signature basically just gives us a complete agreement. We don't want them coming back to us stating that, we never discussed these prices. You have to have your rate card in place. A very crucial document is basically you also have to have an invoice in place. No matter they pay you maybe, as per a check release weekly or bi-weekly, how are you invoicing your facilities? How are you invoicing your clients? Whether it's, what date it is, how are you invoicing, what are the calculations, etc. It has to be in place. Very important document over here. You also basically have to have your timesheet in place. At the end of the day, the candidate is representing your staffing agency in the facility, right? So your candidate also have to have a signature maybe from the director of nursing that yes, I was available at this day, I have completed my shift during this period, my lunch basically was this. Can you please sign on my manual timesheet because I need to send it to my staffing agency owner as an agreement that yes, I was present. Please do not rely on any facilities at all, no matter how automated they are. At the end of the day, when it comes to money, there definitely will be disputes. There definitely will be a lot of things in place, and you basically just have to have everything documented in there. Every contract is different. If you take into consideration a direct hire contract, that's absolutely different. A per diem contract is different. A registered nurse contract is different. A travel contract is different. You have to have all contractual structure in place as per your state. Which state you're registered in, you have to have in place all these documents, because eventually getting everything documented is the first smart move, being a CEO, tapping into the CEO entrepreneurship, wearing that CEO hat. Being a complete, I would say, a business coach and a business owner since almost 6 years now, I keep things documented. To be honest with you, whenever anyone wants to basically sign up for no matter what program, today we are a one-stop shop solution for all your requirements. Whatever you require, we have it. But yes, I get a proper agreement in place, because at the end of the day, it's really essential for my clients and myself to be on one page, right? So this is exact message I wanted to give, that do not avoid documenting. Before even applying for a license, please get your 40 nursing pool checklist in place and that's when you move to the next step. Do not avoid this step. This is really, really crucial so that you not be into any legal hassles or any legal troubles in the near future. Coming back to basically what kind of documents, it's really sad that I came across a lot of documents which are being literally downloaded from ChatGPT, which basically are, in place wherein, it's just a complete, not at all inclined towards your staffing agency. These are downloadable templates wherein people are selling it for $49, $99. Please avoid that, because at the end of the day, this is your brand. This basically, you're representing your entire business on these documents. The very crucial, important part of getting a document in place is your documents have to be having your agency logo embossed on it. Do not forget to get your logos embossed on all your documents, because at the end of the day, your documents are your intellectual property. Do not forget that. These are not just a downloadable template from ChatGPT and you can just send it across to your candidates or maybe for facilities as well. Understand, you are a brand and this is your business. So this is completely inclined towards giving the reputation of, yes, I do have paperwork in place. Whenever you send a contract, it has to be having your agency logo, your signatures, everything in place. So I would highly recommend stop downloading or even purchasing $99 of documents. Those are not one size fits all. Every state has different requirements. Every compliance rules are different. So stop downloading these documents from online. If you need any assistance, if you need help with what is the list of documents, please feel free to DM me documents. I'll send all the list of 40 documents which are absolutely mandatory. Apart from this, if you require assistance in getting them crafted, I have an in-house licensing team. They basically will get into the details of where your EIN was registered, where your LLC was registered, which state you come across from, and all your documents will be crafted as per your state compliance, as per your state guidelines. Very important is, once when you get these documents crafted, all your 40 documents will have your agency logo embossed in it, and your documents will be not sent out in a form of a hard copy. All your documents will be sent to you in a form of an editable version as a soft copy, so that eventually in the near future, if your phone number changes, if your business email changes, all you need to do is just edit the documents and get those necessary changes done. You don't have to recreate the documents all over again. You know what I mean? So feel free to just, comment below that you need assistance with the documents. If you don't want to publicly comment, feel free to DM me. I would be more than happy to get those documents crafted and completely done for you. The documentation part is the first part to have a complete structured business, having that skeletal which basically is unshakable. So tomorrow, no matter even VMS people come in, MSPs come in, no matter even if the pandemic is in or whether we have recession coming in, you have a proper structure of your business, you have a proper, I would say, skeletal of the business, and that starts with documents. So I hope you basically like this training. I am planning to go in live at least for 15-20 minutes in order to understand what exactly is the pulse of my community and get those things answered. Because to be honest, there is a lot of chaos, there's a lot of confusion online. Someone is saying one thing, the other one is saying the other thing. In order to declutter that noise, I'm just planning of basically going in live every single day in our community at least for 15-20 minutes. And the only intention is to get that noise cleared, to have a complete, huge, boundaries be above you, so that you have a complete thorough clarity on what do I require, especially in order to get started, what kind of compliance documents I require, what kind of paperwork I require in order to get approved, and do not get troubled into any legal hassles in the future. If you need assistance with anything that I just discussed about the list of 40 total documents, about maybe you want JACO certification, you need accreditation, you need licensing assisted, I am there for you. My entire team is there for you. So just to give you a complete logistics about how things look like in my basic journal, I am a proud owner of Client Accelerator Academy, and we basically do have a team of 40 people today who are literally working across the entire globe for my clients. We have internal departments, we have a team of recruitment, contract management, marketing assistants, legal documentation team, JACO certification, accreditations. If you want to get into vendor management system, we have had collaborative partnership nationwide with VMS. I will not go through the VMS, but I'm going to definitely be going in live every single day if my schedule permits, and in order to get a lot of questions answered. So that was it from my end. If you have any questions, if you want me to get a clarity on, or if you want me to speak about it, feel free to DM me your question, and I'll definitely try to get the most out of it, give you the clarity, and also give you a thorough explanation on the same. So yeah, that was it. I hope this was fruitful. If you need any assistance, don't forget to DM me. My DMs are always open. And don't forget to follow me on YouTube, because that's exactly where I'm going to give you a deep dive trainings every time on my YouTube channel too. So that was it from my